said something that was really interesting to me, your ego. That's not talked about a whole lot with near-death experiences. The ego, especially because your story is so intense. So generally other people are like, I was in the wrong path and then I died and then I, found God and that was cool. Yours was so much more intense. The range is so much more that your ego had built 35 years of this is who I am. And then after you started laying hands on homeless people, which was also the ego, by the way, going, we're Jesus now? I can get behind this. Yes. Let's do this. How did you deal with that inner struggle, that inner fight? Because your ego sounds like it was an intense presence after 35 years of addiction and all the trauma you dealt with, that it's there to protect you. It's there to do things because that's all it knows. Your ego's there always to protect you. Sometimes it goes a little overboard. But generally speaking, it's built to do that. How did you kind of overcome that to become who you are right now? Yeah,
and ego is like such a buzzword, right?
Sure.
So I also study Jungian philosophy. And in that, Jung talks about all these different stages that we have as we come to earth, right? So there's the stage of the masks, like that's my early childhood, my teenage years. Then my shadow came in. My shadow really took charge, especially after my parents' death. That was the part of me. So like my shadow, my ego, all these words are really interchangeable. Something not my spirit, right? Something not my highest self. And then the other part of that is coming into the anima and the animus, so the divine feminine, divine masculine in Jungian philosophy, and then circling back up to the highest self with the capital S. So for me, my shadow was my main personality point my whole life. And it's not like my shadow disappears because I had some kind of spiritual experience. My shadow is my main protector. It's all that I've ever known. So I have to learn how to give it a new role. I have to give it a new job because it's not going to go away. It exists within me. And I'm not a murderer. I can't kill it. So I just have to learn how to give it a new role. So there's a lot of things that make up my shadow. Mm-hmm. For me, my addiction is one of the main parts of it. So what I like to do is I do character development around my shadow pieces. So my addiction has its own name and shape and face. He's a man. He's a gay man. His name's Richard. He thinks he's so fun and fabulous, but he's a mess. So Richard lives inside of a glass house inside my mind, and he kind of puts his mouth up to the creases of the house, and he'll scream, "Let's have a drink. Let's have some fun." And I'm like, "No, Richard, we don't drink anymore." And I have to have my highest self come in and offer him compassion. Because again, I can't kill him. If I ignore him, he'll just get louder and louder and louder. And so I do all of this work to compartmentalize myself so that I can see which part of me is trying to communicate, which part is trying to protect me. Why does it think it needs to protect me? So, even my addiction splintered off into other addictions, right? Like I let go of substances, and then all of my eating disorders came to the surface. And then I start to get my eating disorders under control, and then porn and masturbating addiction comes up, and then codependency, and then limerence, person obsession. Oh, that one's my favorite. Love getting obsessed with people who don't know that I exist.
Right.
And so there's this whole array of things going on. My inner saboteur, my inner controller, my inner critic, all of this stuff is going on inside of my world. And my spirit wants to experience all of it. Because without that contrast, I don't know how great it is to remember who I actually am. If I don't have my addiction running the show for so many years of my life, how can I appreciate God the way that I do today? I mean, maybe I could have. But I wouldn't give my story back for anything. I mean, lots of twists and turns, lots of trauma, but now it's all centered in triumph. The ability to overcome, the human spirit is so resilient. And I know that if that's accessible to me, it's accessible to everyone.
And that's the beautiful thing about your story, Betty, is that, you are an extreme story. There's no question.
Spanish novella.
Who is on some substances.
Right.
It's a Spanish novella writer who's doing stuff.
Yeah.
There's no question. To watch the full video, click on the link below. And don't forget to subscribe.